entrepreneur who wants to uncover those hidden profits in your business, then you really won't want to miss this interview with certified profit coach, Anita Larsen. I'm Gale Bates, and welcome to my series where I interview entrepreneurs from around the globe who really make a difference in others' lives. You know, with over 20 years of experience as a home-based entrepreneur myself, I really understand the challenges of staying organized and managing my time to avoid all that dreaded overwhelm that comes up as entrepreneurs who are our own bosses, right? And I'm really fascinated by every entrepreneur that I interview because they really share their unique story. And those stories are just full of insights on how they manage their productivity and just keep that balanced life. If you're ready to learn from those who actually make it happen, then I'd love you to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell to never miss an interview. I met Anita through an online collaboration group. And she is a business growth strategist and certified profit coach. And she helps entrepreneurs discover that hidden revenue opportunities in their business. She's known for her no-fluff, action-oriented approach, which I love, and her talent for helping entrepreneurs just turn their unique strengths into profits. So as you listen to this interview, I really encourage you to pay close attention to these 5 powerful insights that Anita shares. So number 1, how she strategically invests her time to really make the biggest impact and how you can do that too. Number 2, her networking strategy, because this is really different. Her strategy is just building those meaningful relationships where she actually seeks out collaboration opportunities and services that she can recommend to her clients. I love that. Number 3, how she continues learning and growing through an organization called Milestone Circles. I really want you to check that out because there is a link to that in the description below. And number 4, how she uses chatgpt as a business companion. And she even shares a practical prompt that you can use immediately. And number 5, why being mindful with your business expenses can really lead to uncovering those hidden profits. She actually gives you some questions you can ask yourself to reveal them. I just know you're going to walk away with fresh ideas and new ways to grow your business, just like I did. Welcome to my series on entrepreneurs who work from home. I'm excited to hear from you today, all the way from Florida.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here and to find out what's going on in Hawaii. We're in this big vacation destination on opposite sides of the country.
I know. Isn't that amazing? Yes. We're in these lovely zones of sunshine, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes. We don't tell anybody about it. Okay, so you've been in business for quite a while, and I'd love to always kick this off is talk a little bit about routines and how we, what does a typical day look like for you? How do you begin your day and how do you prioritize your tasks and kind of structure your day on how does that work for you?
Oh, that's a good question. I start my day. I'm not a morning person. I hate to say it. I wish I was. I never have been one. So I sleep as late as I can. I will admit that. And I don't schedule calls like first thing in the morning because you're not going to get the best of me.
Yeah.
So my day usually starts, I'll get in front of the computer. I work from home, obviously. You know that. I'll get in front of the computer and the first part of my day is going to look at going through my email, catch up on messages, look at my day ahead. What do I have coming up today? What's on my to-do list? What's on my calendar? So that's kind of like my daily routine. Just start it slow, plan your day. And then as I finish that, then I start getting productive and I'll, knock out things I need to get done, finish meetings that I have scheduled. And I always make sure that I have time for lunch. I try not to schedule something over lunch because I think it's so important to take that time away from the computer because you're working from home. It's make it your office. Don't make it a home office. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I take an hour lunch every day. I will make something. I will sit down and relax and take my time with it. So most days it works out like that. And then
Yeah, I think that's great advice for entrepreneurs. And it's something really small, but it's actually something really big.
It is.
And I love how you have this structure, looking at your to-do list, setting up your day, starting your day, setting up your day, and then getting in, really zeroing in and getting into your projects and tasks and things. Yeah. I love that. So, do you time block, or do you do any other, time management techniques for yourself?
I probably do all of them. No, I time block. Like I have my whole week planned out. All my meetings are coded based on the type of meeting and the importance of it.
Right.
My business time, like say Mondays, I will have 1 to 2 hours blocked specifically to work on administrative tasks. I try never to schedule any meetings on Mondays. That's like my day to work on my business and to look at the week ahead, reconcile my expenses, those kind of things. So do all the office work, if you will, and some planning. Every Monday, it's you get up, I look at my schedule for the weeks, I rearrange meetings. If I have networking events that I wanted to go to, am I still going to be able to make those? What's important for me to get accomplished that week, to go through my task list? That's my Monday. That's my plan.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. Yeah, it's funny as being entrepreneurs. And I think that's a part of being an entrepreneur is we are structured. Even though we have distractions, we are structured people, and we like that. So it's good to hear that from others, knowing that, she's doing that as well as what I'm doing. Others are probably saying the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. And, I talk a lot, and I love to bring this question up because I think as entrepreneurs, it's really important. We talk a lot in our businesses about revenue generating activities, activities that are going to bring in the revenue, that are going to, and your business is all about profit, right? You talk about hidden profit, and I love that in your bio. You talked a lot about that. So how do you decide where to invest your time for the biggest impact for those revenue generating activities?
I think that's one of the really difficult things to do for entrepreneurs, especially, if they're new to being an entrepreneur, to really know where should they focus their time, and also when they're at the stage they're still doing everything themselves. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times some of those revenue generating tasks can seem daunting. Mm-hmm. And then you just end up doing the little busy work instead, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I should probably get this little thing done. I can finish this up. And you just put off anything you're not in the mind to do right now, even though that's what really should bring the revenue in for you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that I don't do that at times. I think we all do. So I'm not going to lie and say, oh, no, I just focus on my revenue. No, of course I don't, Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do. Isn't that what we say as coaches? It's
exactly.
I do, again, if I have larger projects, like say if I'm launching a campaign, if I'm launching a new program, it goes on the time block. I have to have dedicated time to work on it.
Yeah.
And one thing I actually done since the end of last year, I started co-working sessions with just other coaches, other entrepreneurs, just people I know, people in my networking groups, and whoever wants to show up can. Mm-hmm. And every Friday at 11 o'clock, we just jump on Zoom, say, here's what I'm going to get done this hour. Yeah. And we turn off the camera, turn off the mic, and we just sit and work for an hour.
Yeah.
And that's kind of forces it forces you to have that time.
Yeah. I love that.
Come back and say, what did you accomplish? And now you got to be accountable to all these people. You just said you're going to do something, right? Mm-hmm. So that's been really helpful. But now I find that sometimes I will push stuff until that Friday, 11 o'clock co-working hour. I'm like, okay, well, I have to do it at least at that time. Like that's my deadline, but at least that means it gets done. So
I think that's brilliant. It's a way of getting things done. And, I love co-working myself. It's kind of having someone alongside of you. And as entrepreneurs, we suffer from isolation, not having, having to make our own decisions and be on our own a lot. And I think this is a way, and I love how you've set it up weekly. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
And
you know it's coming up and you
yeah.
that project right, say, okay, this is a Friday project and it's going to get done, right?
And I will tell you, I have been in those sessions all by myself because I'm hosting it. It
Right.
forces me to do it, and I have to be on that Zoom regardless. And I will sit there and work because sometimes people will show up like halfway through. So I will sit there with my Zoom on by myself in
Yeah.
case somebody shows up, but it still forces me to get something done, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. It's
great.
all about those revenue generating activities and making
Yeah.
them happen, right? Yeah. Okay, I want to switch things up a little here and talk a little bit about workspace because it looks like you have a lovely office. Tell me how does that work for you?
It looks it looks nice. I'm not going to tell you what's all around me. No, it's you have to work with the house you have and the space you have, right? And then you make it what's going to best work for you. So I moved a couple of places, and I see all the home-based entrepreneurs, we have to try to make the best of the space we have. Like I started in the bedroom and I was like, oh, I couldn't really make it look right.
Yeah.
So now I did have a room that could be more of an office, but it's also, there's a freezer in here that's next to the kitchen. So at times somebody may be cooking, you're still gonna have those little things.
Right.
But you make the best of what you have. And I make sure, like, even now I was like, remember, I am gonna be in a meeting. So
Yeah.
down. So just making sure you set expectations with the rest of the household. And
So it's not about having the perfect place. It's just having that place that supports your efficiency and you're able to focus, right?
exactly.
Yeah, and I think you've done a great job. Okay, it looks
Thank
great.
you.
Okay,
I love that. Thanks.
your words are really important. It's important to have a space, your own space, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I do make sure it's all laid out. Like I have my little motivational plaque here. I have my microphone, so
Right. All of those things that
like
make
it's
you
working.
feel that you're in business and you're doing, yeah, especially when you're a coach and you're working with people a lot, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. What about your challenges? What are the biggest challenges that you face working from home? I mean, is it, are the distractions or,
Yes. I will say I have a teenager in the house.
okay, that says a lot.
So major distraction. And unfortunately, she's kind of grown up with me working from home. So she thinks I'm a chauffeur and butler and whatever she needs at the time. So I keep trying to set the boundaries, right? That
Right.
I am at work. You may not think I am. You may think I'm home. That means I am also at work.
Yeah, no, boundaries are so important for entrepreneurs who work from home.
That I think she's at the point now where she realizes I can't necessarily just drop everything at a drop of a dime, whenever she needs something, So
Right.
I've made it very clear to her that if you're planning something and you need my help to get there or do something with you, then just like everything else, you need me, let me know so I can block it on my calendar.
Right,
I say,
exactly.
if it's not on my calendar, it's not going to happen. Something else is going to take the place of it. So you need to make sure I know in advance so it gets scheduled with everything else on my calendar. Live and die by my calendar. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. I love those words. Me too. I never know what I'm doing unless I'm looking at the calendar.
And
Yeah.
it's personal and business because you have to find a way to combine the two. So,
Yeah.
and
And how do you do
both
that?
important.
Yeah. Do you do that digitally or do you have a paper planner? How does that work for you?
No, I do it all digitally. It's all on my Google Calendar. And like I said, I color code it all. So I know I have a color for everything my daughter needs, where I need to be for her things. And for my personal thing is a different color and then different business things. Yes, it's all color coded.
Yeah. And, technology just right today plays such a big role in running our home-based businesses. What other tools? Do you have any special apps or platforms or that you couldn't live without or that you would recommend to others?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, Google Calendar,
Yeah.
and then I also use Calendly just for the ease of
Right.
getting meetings scheduled. Notion is my latest task management tool that I've been using and I really enjoy. I've gone through a lot of them. I'm like Asana certified. So I use Trello, I use Strike, I've used ClickUp. Notion is my latest one that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's hugely important, huge part of my planning. What's my task list? When is the due
Right.
date? All those things.
Yeah. A lot of
Um,
people are using Notion right now, I'm hearing.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's great. Also, of course, with CRM, I use High Level, which I know is huge now as well.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
I use CRM for my email management, my CRM for CRM purposes.
Right.
So, and then honestly, couldn't do anything right now without ChatGPT. It's my daily companion and
Yes.
pretty much my
And how are
business.
you using ChatGPT to, how does it work for you?
I use it for so much. I mean, it's not a day when I'm not in there, just helping plan out campaigns, just giving, using it as a sounding board to what you said earlier. Like it can be very solitary at times, right? To be an entrepreneur and work from home. That's
Yeah.
my companion. That's who I run ideas by and, and proof it, soundboard, make sure it sounds right. I'm not leaving anything off. What are other directions I could go? I think it's, I think it's a great tool for entrepreneurs to use. Just making sure that they don't use it to do the work for them, but use it as a companion. Like it's still your business. It should be your ideas and insights and tone and voice and values.
Mm-hmm.
And then ChatGPT is there to enhance it and help you grow it. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a
Mm-hmm.
big distinction in how you should be using it.
I think you've really hit the nail on the head there. It's so important, and to be able to use it well and with the right way to make it work for you, right? And as you come across as you're not coming across as something else. It's
Exactly.
basically you. Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's fascinating. And it comes up in just about every interview I do now, which is really interesting because it hasn't been around that long, right?
Right. It's crazy the growth that's been happening. Yeah.
I know it is. How do you see that's helped you? That utilizing that has really helped you?
Well, I'm a bit of a nerd, so I'm like all in. It's I'm involved in some AI courses and groups, and so it's so much fun to me. So it's I'm doing it for whatever I can at the moment because I just think I just enjoy it, and I think it's a whole lot of fun. That's it. So
Are there any AI courses you'd recommend?
the one I'm involved in right now is actually run by company that's sponsored by the city of Miami, and it's called BizHack, and they
Mm-hmm.
run an AI marketing course. We have a cohort that launches now in the beginning of June, another one in October, and it's an 8-week course.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also running, if you want to check it out, it's probably on bizhack.com. But they're running free master classes once a month
Oh,
over the
wow.
summer. So I'm doing one in July 16,
Yeah.
on AI for marketing strategy.
Wow.
So
That's
it's all different AI topics like every month, and they're totally free. So it's definitely worth checking out if anybody's interested.
great. That's really great advice for people because that's why I'm
Yeah,
doing this series. It's about entrepreneurs helping entrepreneurs,
exactly.
and I'm thrilled that you were able to offer that. We'll have to all check that out.
Yeah.
Okay, now you talked a lot about your networking groups. So how do you stay connected? What does networking mean to you, and is it part of your strategy to grow your business?
Yeah. So it is part of my strategy. It evolved a little bit over the years. I was not a great networker, first of all, and then I made a conscious effort to do it more, and I realized that okay, this is kind of enjoyable. You meet a lot of interesting people, and
Mhm.
the important thing is always go there with a goal in mind, and your goal in mind should not necessarily be to sell your services. It should be talking and meeting other entrepreneurs. And I always go in looking for possible collaboration opportunities, for one thing, and
Mhm.
also looking for services from people that I know and trust that I can recommend to my clients. Because there's always a point in time where my clients need different types of services and they'll come to me.
Mm-hmm.
So going with those thoughts and goals going into networking makes it easier because then you know what you're looking for and you're not just randomly having conversations that are not going anywhere. You know, you have intentional conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
I started doing more locally just because I didn't have a local network because I worked from home for so long and it wasn't necessarily something I had to do locally. And I was
Right.
like, you know what? No, I need to get to know my local business environment. So I started that at the beginning of last year and started reaching out more locally. And I met a couple of really great groups and so expanding my local connections, which is important. And then
That's really important because and I think you made a wise decision. And I think because, we can do online networking, it's available, right? But I think actually getting out and meeting people face to face and being intentional about building relationships
yeah.
face to face it changes things. You find greater business opportunities, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you never know who somebody else knows, so it has that ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
And what I've done lately is beyond just doing local networking groups and virtual networking, I've actually signed up to mentor some cohorts for other organizations. And that's been great as well. Meet a lot of amazing entrepreneurs and helping them get to a level while at the same time I'm learning so much from them because everybody comes in with different skills and different backgrounds and experience, right? So that's been
And
really
what are those organizations, those mentor organizations?
one of those, one of the bigger ones that I've been involved in is the NASDAQ Center. They run something called the Milestone Circles for female entrepreneurs.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's completely free. It's a 12-week program where you set a key milestone in your business that you want to get accomplished by the end of those 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been one of the mentors to assigned a group of women, and then we work towards achieving their milestones and just being there to support them and hold them accountable and guide them through the process. So,
Oh, I love that. That's giving back, and that's wonderful. Wow, great. Okay, let's change things up here a little. Goal setting. Talk to me about how you approach goal setting and how you break down your goals into actionable steps. How do you track your progress? Talk to us a little bit about that.
So this is where I get really nerdy because I can get so caught up in the planning process that I do better at planning than tracking. I will admit that. And I will plan it to death.
Uh-huh.
I will have my whole year planned out. I will break it into quarters. I will break that into months. And then I'll get sidetracked. And then now next quarter, I will catch myself. Okay, come on, we got to get back on track. This is the goal for the quarter. Yeah. So that's how I work. And I do try to keep it actionable and get it done.
Uh-huh.
But I will say at least I do the quarterly review and see how I can adjust to do better next quarter.
I know. Goal setting, I'm one of those goal setting nerds myself, but I like to break it down into actionable steps and then follow the steps and keep tracking the steps as well. So, because I actually have a 90-day goals planner, that a playbook that I share with people, and I probably go over the top about it, but it's always fun to see how others perceive goal setting and how their approach is to it. Now, let's move on to professional development, because obviously you are mentoring others, which is really fantastic. But how do you continue to grow you as an entrepreneur? Maybe talk to us a little bit about some books you've read or a podcast you love.
Yeah, I would say if we're going to talk about books, probably my favorite books where I just really agree with the principles and approach of the book is the 12-week year.
Yes, I love that book.
I love that. And when I do read books, I kind of tend to just take away the pieces that work for me that I feel I need to implement. And then what do I feel is going to be a benefit to my clients as well. Absolutely. But I think that's just such a great book, and I just agree with every part of it. And even before I read the book, is kind of how I ran my business or operated in the organizations I was involved with. So
Great, great.
other types of professional development, I have a lot of regular email newsletters from entrepreneurs that I follow, and that I, want to be one day, right? So, and
Right.
I would say for a while, I really struggled on keeping up with it because there's so much good information out there and I want to get a piece of everything. So I will give you a tip. So what I do now,
Yeah.
I will go to ChatGPT and I will put the link to the blog post or the video, either one. And I'll put it into ChatGPT and I will say, please summarize this for me and give me the things that I should be implementing in my business right now.
Wow.
Give me things that maybe I won't be able to implement at the moment. Maybe I need to make some tweaks or just consider, and then tell me what's not relevant for me. And it
Oh
just gives me a
my
great
God,
summary.
that is so cool.
Yes.
That's so cool. I'm going to try that
And
myself.
it's helped me catch up on all these like newsletters sitting in my inbox, just cluttering up my inbox, and I can actually take actionable steps from it. So
Wow. I mean, I know I'm a follower of a lot of people as well because there is so much good information out there.
yes, there is.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the entrepreneurs who are watching this are really going to take that advice for sure.
They should definitely try it. Yeah.
Good. Excellent. And now, let's talk a little bit about self care. How do you balance work and your personal life? It can be tricky. So, how does that work for you?
It can be tricky. I would say when I really reset, when I feel really stressed out and I really need to just refresh and completely reset, it's the beach. I need a day at the beach.
Yeah. And aren't we lucky we live near the beach?
So a day at the beach, I just feel like a new person when I come home. It sets me up for tackling the next week, basically.
I think it's defining, and figuring out what it is that really helps you just calm down and get centered and finding that place. And for you, it's the beach. For others, it might be a walk in the nature or, it could be going to a spa or getting a massage, whatever it is, But I think that is so important for us as entrepreneurs to, really figure out what it is that helps us do that and do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Take the time for it.
Yeah, I love it. And so do you just walk the beach or do you go down and just spend the day?
I'll spend the day. And I would say, being in Florida, beach is really the option. But, the waves and the smells and the sun and, the combination of it. Yeah. But if I wasn't in Florida, the mountains would have the same effect on me. Just the fresh mountain air. That would be just as rewarding.
Yeah. So, yes. I love it, the way you described that. It's great.
Yeah.
So if you had one piece of advice for other entrepreneurs, what would that be?
Okay, I'm going to go back to what you said earlier that, my business is a lot about profit and talking to entrepreneurs about profit. I feel that there's such a huge misconception around what you should be making as an entrepreneur and your income. And there's not a great distinction between revenue and profit. And I think all entrepreneurs need to be very conscious of. So if you listen to all the gurus and you're out there to get your 6-figure income, okay, that doesn't mean a whole lot if that's not what you actually end up with at the end of the day. That's your revenue, your 6-figure revenue. But after you pay all your vendors and contractors and your overhead and all other expenses and you're left with $10,000 for the year, then you're far from a 6-figure entrepreneur. So be very conscious of what you spend in your business. Especially if you're a new entrepreneur. It's not just because it's your business account and it's your business card doesn't mean it's monopoly money. It's still money coming out of your pocket that you don't have by the end of the year. So look at what you're spending, look at the expenses on a regular basis. And for each one of them, ask yourself, does this expense help me get a client? Does it help me keep a client? Or does it help me increase the lifetime value of a client? You say no to all 3 of those, then it's probably not an expense that should be there.
Very sage advice. I love what you said, the difference between revenue and profit.
Yes.
Wow, that is huge.
It's important.
Yeah, very important. So then tell us a little bit more about your business. Tell us how you serve your clients and talk to us a little bit about where people can connect with you. So we'll be putting all that information in the description below.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a business growth strategist, is how I explain it. So I'm a business coach, but I focus on you growing your business and the strategies to get there. Mm-hmm. So that really includes everything. I help you figure out why the heck somebody should choose you over anybody else out there to do the same thing. What makes you different and unique? Mm-hmm. Then how do you turn that uniqueness into profit? Mm-hmm. And once you figure that out, everything else gets easier. Once you can figure out what your uniqueness is, then you can increase your revenue. You can lower your marketing spend. You will have more clarity around your business, who you are, who you want to serve, what problems you solve. Mm-hmm. It's all about just really knowing what your uniqueness is and how you bring that to your business. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's really how I start working with people, just really diving into that. Mm-hmm. And then from there, we go into all areas of your business, figuring out how do all the pieces fit together? Mm-hmm. How do you get the most profit from the money you're making, obviously? Mm-hmm. And what's the message that you put out there, and who's the people you want to serve?
Mm-hmm. You talk a lot about your action-focused approach. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So when I work with a client, I'm not going to say, here are 3 strategies that could work for your purpose. That's not beneficial to you. I'm not going to leave you strategies and then you sit there and you're like, what do I do with this? Right. Mm-hmm. So we talk about the strategies, figure out what's best for you. Mm-hmm. Then I help you put it to work for your business. So we make sure it gets implemented. We talk about who's going to do it for you. When is it going to get done? What are your next steps? How is it going to happen? And hold you accountable and make sure it starts working for you. Because if it doesn't start working for you, it's not worth the time and effort to talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah, I love that you said being accountable, because that's what we do as coaches, is keeping people accountable. Absolutely. And it sounds to me like this is a really wonderful approach for somebody who is looking for this kind of service. So where can people reach you? Where can they connect with you?
Yeah, I mean, you can always reach me on LinkedIn.
That's where you are the most. Yeah. Okay.
And or you can go on my website, Lita Coaching, LITA-coaching.com.
Yeah. Okay.
You can also download a copy of my book and look at the strategies that are there to see what can help you in your business.
Or your book as well?
Yes.
Oh, so tell us about your book.
It's strategies for profit growth, really. So it's the path to profit.
Yeah.
7 key steps to help you have a sustainable business with long-term growth. So
great. I'll have to check that out. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Well, this has been so enlightening. Gosh, there's so many great, I call them gems of wisdom that you have shared here today. And we're going to be sure to put all of this information about your book, about where people can connect with you, all in the description below here as well. So, Anita, thank you so much for being on the call today and sharing with us all the information about you and your business. And I can't wait to share it with all my followers.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a great conversation. So yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Well, there were so many gems of wisdom in this interview. I hope you took notes. If not, I recommend that you watch this again, because you might catch something that you missed. And wasn't her Friday project brilliant? That weekly co-working session just keeps her focused and accountable. I really like that. Her insights on AI in marketing were also spot on. And if you missed that part, be sure to rewind and check that link in the description for more about the course that she's taking. Now, if you haven't read the 12-week year, I want you to make sure you add it to your library, because Anita's approach to structuring her business around that concept is definitely a must read. So many golden takeaways. Now, let me ask you, what are you doing to boost profit in your business without adding more to your plate? I'd love to know your answer. Think about it and share it in the comments below. If you're ready to uncover your own unique path to profit, I really recommend that you connect with Anita. You want to make sure you grab her 10 quick wins checklist, and you'll find the link to that in the description below. And I'll see you on the next video.